Good evening, brothers, sisters and sisters. If there's one thing I've learned over the years of the internet, is that there are two guaranteed things when it comes to this hellscape of whatever this is. Number one being that you right now are procrastinating by watching this video instead of doing that one specific thing that you keep putting off. Just do it already. But more importantly, number two being Onision on a week-to-week basis is almost guaranteed to be involved in something absolutely horrific. And look at that, my friends. We've got all two things right now. You're procrastinating, being an absolute loser watching this video, and number two, Gregory Onision Jackson once again is in the news for being, what's that? Oh yeah, absolutely horrific. And I know I've been speaking about Gregory a lot recently. I know I've been chatting about him in 3-hour-long videos. I understand that, but this is like a follow-up to a previous video I made because the situation has not only gotten bigger and more insane, it's just absolutely exploded at this point. Pretty much, Onision is now being sued by another victim, but also there's more, because Gregory has also once again quit the internet. And I know what you're thinking, oh, he's quit the internet for a millionth time. There is more to it this time. Pretty much, Onision uploaded this video, and I don't think he is joking here. Given the reasons that he says in this video, it makes me think that this is a legitimate form of Onision seemingly trying to run away from the internet. But run away, not necessarily for attention this time. I actually think it's different because of these two lawsuits that are currently ongoing. The first one, which I spoke about in this video, and the second one, which we're going to be speaking about today, and also Onision seemingly quitting the internet. And I know he's going to be back within 2 months, but it is a little bit different. But before any of that, just like my Onision iceberg, I do need to say that this video is once again sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. Fellas, lately we've been diving into some dark corners of the internet, and during this process I've honestly felt vulnerable, unprotected, and especially when I'm just scripting these videos like my iceberg video, which CyberGhost VPN kindly sponsored and gave you really good deals. Because when I'm in my coffee shop connected to the public Wi-Fi, I am like one click away from some malware ruining my entire week. And with CyberGhost VPN, it kept me protected, it kept me safe, and made those vulnerable feelings honestly just no longer be there. And it's not just with me. Data breaches and malware could be one click away from you and make you lose your important data, or even much worse. But as I said, CyberGhost VPN is here to save the day. You can completely up your cybersecurity game without any dodgy internet speeds, but also apply those speeds to the fact that CyberGhost VPN allows you to access region block streaming services such as Netflix US whilst you're in the UK, Amazon Prime, and most importantly, HBO Max, where you can finally watch House of Dragon legally. And CyberGhost VPN also has wonderful features such as a no-logs policy, so they do not even see what you are up to. So if you want to watch dubbed anime on Netflix US whilst you're in the UK, you will no longer be judged, even by CyberGhost VPN. And it's also available on all platforms, Windows, Mac, Android, and many more out there, ladies and gentlemen. And with 38 million users and amazing reviews on Trustpilot, and get this deal that we're offering you today. Because yes, for $2.03 per month plus 4 months free and one subscription that can be used by 7 devices so you can share it with all your family and friends, this is a deal that CyberGhost VPN are kindly offering to only the subscribers on this channel. And also, if you don't like it, ladies and gents, you can get a 45 money back guarantee with 24/7 customer service. So honestly, you've got nothing to lose. You can use it, you can love it, and if you don't, it's all right. It's all good. And also, you're helping me out. So yes, thank you so much to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. And let's get back into the deep, dangerous parts of the internet, which I was protected by CyberGhost VPN. Okay, now we're done with the more nice things. I think it's time to move into some of the more horrific things. Now, I do need to say that there are some sensitive things here. I'm not going to go into too many specifics here, but yeah, we're going to be dealing with allegations surrounding Onision, which obviously entails pretty much every single horrific thing that you can think of. Gregory has done it all, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the lawsuit, which involves another victim of Onision's, which of course is Sarah. Michigan woman alleges ex-YouTube star Onision groomed and R-worded her. The allegations state that the couple, Kai and Onision, groomed her being Sarah, from the time she was 14, and that Onision R-worded her when she was 18. The 22-year-old woman, identified in the lawsuit as Sarah, alleges that Onision used YouTube to identify, recruit, solicit, and groom children and coordinate with his spouse, Kai, to learn, entice, and solicit children for the ultimate goal of well, you know what the ultimate goal here is. And honestly, I think this description is absolutely accurate. Based on everything that we went through in my 3-hour iceberg, this seemingly describes everything that Onision has been using his platform for over the last, 10 years. The man has series out there where teenagers submit their bodies for ratings, and Gregory's only defense is, oh, I said it was 18 plus. When you go onto his website, there were actual kids submitting photos of themselves. The man knows what he's doing, and there obviously is an absolute, it's not just a plethora, it's not just a dossier, there is an encyclopedia of allegations and horrific things surrounding this bloke. From, as I said, Onision having a website where 15 and 16-year-olds would submit photos of themselves for Onision to rate in his YouTube videos, which again, you do kind of have to wonder how that was even considered an okay thing to do even in 2016. But also, you've got things such as Onision literally admitting to speaking romantically to his current spouse when he was not an adult, and he also crossed state lines to be with previous partners when if he slept with those people in his state, it would have been considered a crime. So yeah, everything said in that description pretty much just lines up 100% accurate with everything that we just went through, and obviously, it's sick, it's disgusting, and it's messed up. But there's one other thing to consider which makes this slightly more worse. The fact that over the last 2 years, Onision has actually been building a slander campaign against Sarah in specific and a few others, where he has said sick and disgusting things like this in order to convince his brain-dead audience that he is actually the victim in these situations, and everybody has lied against him, and everybody has somehow coordinated this weird campaign against him for the last 10 years. Because even if that was true, you really got to think about the sheer amount of effort and sophistication to create this massive anti-Onision plot. But then you've also got to ask the question of why would they even do that? Because what possible benefit would they get from that? These people haven't been financially benefited to a certain degree because they spoke up against their abuser. They've just tried to get justice for themselves and honestly just protect possible future potential victims. Everything said in this lawsuit is disgusting, and Onision only does his best to make it somehow even worse. And there are a lot of other specific details which are entailed in this lawsuit, mainly things such as Onision comparing the situation to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, which I'm just going to hold my tongue until we get into the video that he uploaded, because in that video he truly revealed his character, and I don't really think we needed this man to reveal his character given everything that I went through in this horrific iceberg. But either way, the bloke revealed his character in this video because this connects to these lawsuits in my opinion. What he is doing in this video is, as I said, is quitting the internet. He's getting out and running away. And he states in the video the reason that he's quitting the internet isn't because, oh, there's a lot of lawsuits going on and it seems that people are actually going to start to get justice. It's not that, but don't worry, he does reference those things. It's actually because he wants to start pretty much putting his family first, because he says in the video that being on the internet and uploading videos is punishing his family. And honestly, fellas, that's just really weird, because strangely enough, Greg's never been the bloke to kind of, never really, well, how do I say this without being a bit of a dick? Well, not being a bit of a dick, just telling the truth. He's never really cared about his kids, seemingly in the past. And you may say, Fraser, that's an absolutely awful thing to say. Boys, girls, theys and thems, I'm sorry to say, but the bloke literally let his kid fall out of a window, whipped out a video camera and said, I'm just recording this so the police don't think anything bad's going on. Do you think that's a normal parent thing to do? But also, given everything that this man has done on the internet, he is absolutely correct in saying that yes, his YouTube channel does punish his family and his kids. But the thing is he never really cared about this up until now. So why mysteriously has Onision started to care about his family and children? I really wonder why Onision suddenly wants to leave the internet. I really wonder. And honestly, this just makes this bloke a million times worse. Because not only is he a horrible person, but he's also an absolute pussy. This guy, literally, when he comes up with some form of legal repercussions, and the case isn't even done yet, but the moment something really comes against this guy, he runs. He gets out of jail, and he uploads this desperate video where he panders to his audience saying, oh, thank you for giving my life reason. Onision, just shut up. Just stop. You're embarrassing embarrassing. You are an absolute embarrassment, mate. Now, for obvious reasons, I cannot play the video to you, and you may think, thank God for that, I don't need to see the bloke's face, and to be fair, can't really blame you. But the main reason is because this bloke loves to copyright claim every single video that he sees. So what I'm going to do is just read you the quotes, because yes, I have taken an entire transcript. I have written it all out myself to give to you guys. If that's not a reason to subscribe, I blooming don't know what is. I'm sweating right now, sweating my nuts off. So please just subscribe for the love of God. Please. So the video starts off in a very strange way of where Onision is just ranting about free speech in 2023, saying that on YouTube, iDubbbz used to be able to say the N-word. Okay. Why is this relevant to you? Well, basically, he goes on to complain that people nowadays just don't understand humor, and he says PewDiePie made a horrible joke back in the day about everybody having their tricks. Now, for context, what this joke was about was pretty much PewDiePie was mocking, I guess, YouTubers using Snapchat to message fans, and PewDiePie made a joke a very long time ago, I think in like 2014. This was so irrelevant that this happened so long ago, I could not find the actual tweet, but pretty much this was a tweet which didn't actually cause any controversy until 2018, and we will get into that because there is some context here. But yes, he's complaining about free speech, saying that people nowadays just don't understand humor, and he said it was a horrible joke, but it was a joke people got. But my brothers, sisters and sisters, that's just extremely ironic. Because in 2018, Onision himself, around 4 years after that joke tweet was made, Onision used that as a way to allege that PewDiePie was pretty much everything that Onision has been alleged of. And it got to the point of where Onision was so badly called out for this, where he, shockingly enough, actually apologized for this. So not only is the bloke just a complete bellend for taking a clear joke from years ago and using it as a way to push an allegation against somebody which has no backing whatsoever, but secondly, he just contradicts his opening point when he complains about free speech and how people just don't know how to take jokes nowadays. People know how to take jokes, mate. We've been dealing with you for the past 10 years. Onision then goes on to say, our current culture is the scariest thing ever. I mean, I completely and utterly agree, because people like you, mate, aren't in jail yet, and that is honestly, given absolutely everything, terrifying. But then he says the reason that culture is scary now is because what they try to do is criminalize or otherwise seriously hurt you for jokes, and that's really, really scary. And as you can kind of imagine, my friends, this is when it kind of moves into the true nature of this video, because yes, the video right now is being presented as Onision as this free speech warrior. He's from the United States of America, and he just watches his steak, his guns, and his free speech. Don't know where that came from. Please just end. I'm sorry. Maybe I need to leave the internet too. But he's complaining about free speech. But there is a real reason to why he's doing this. Because pretty much it starts to move into the true territory and nature of what this video is actually about. Onision then goes on to say, back when I enjoyed making content, it was so exciting and so wonderful. People saw things for the way they were. You know, facts, and like video evidence, and stuff that wasn't edited out of context, but rather a full picture. Now, not only is this ironic for the reasons that we gave earlier of where this man took a blatant joke from PewDiePie and used it to smear his name with false allegations, but also, you can kind of see where this is going. It's gone from, I just want iDubbbz to be able to say those words again, and you know, it's kind of moving away from that, and it's going into some places of video evidence and clear pictures. I just really wonder where this is going. He says, Tobuscus was one of the best entertainers on YouTube, and you guys butchered him over words of some random person you had no idea was credible. That's so bizarre. When you take a person who, while I don't want to say she was crazy or anything, but you don't know what their mental state is, and you're taking what they say as 100% accurate, and that Tobuscus is a bad person. Now, my friends, if you don't know who Tobuscus is, pretty much he is a former YouTuber. Well, I think he may or may not still be a YouTuber, but he was definitely a YouTuber that at one point of time was huge on this platform, and he faced an allegation which seemingly did severely damage his reputation and career, and it seems nowadays the allegation has been proven to be false, but as Onision is saying here, is pretty much, you can't trust the words of people out there because you don't know if they're mentally ill, you've never met this person, but the same thing can be said for Greg. I've never met you, and mate, you're nuts. I don't need like a diagnosis to know whether you're insane or not. I can just go through not only this horrific iceberg, but just one video from you, mate. But then after this, he starts to bring in Johnny Depp, where he says, the point is with the Johnny Depp issue and with a number of other issues is people are so quick to try and make a living human being miserable. Obviously, this is once again Onision using other people's cases and allegations as a way to deflect away from his own allegations, because he will directly actually get into his own. But what he is doing here is kind of like lubing up his audience. If that's I shouldn't like image myself being lubed up. That's not what I'm doing. But he's kind of trying to get his audience comfortable. Firstly, get the free speech debate in. That'll loosen him up. Then, you know, shove in Johnny Depp and some other people out there that have faced certain things in their life, and then we'll get him thinking, oh, all the allegations in the world can be fake, and then we'll just, you know, go into the lawsuit of that. And this was a worry that a lot of people in the world had, I think, during the Johnny Depp case, of where, because of such a high profile case of seemingly somebody trying to disprove somebody of saying or doing something else, it was going to be a way for lots of actual abusers out there to, I guess, use that case as a way to deflect by being like, oh, this one thing is a thing and that means my thing is definitely false. But the problem with all of these arguments of where you're like, oh, this thing is like this thing, is these cases and situations and allegations are all unique. Despite there being so many allegations out there against so many different influencers and celebrities and just people in general, every single one is unique because you as a human being are not another human being. Greg is not Johnny Depp. That's an obvious statement I think I had to make there, but he's not. But the only reason that they try to conflate these things is exactly the same, is because Greg knows that people like Johnny Depp have an absolutely massive fan base, and he's trying to be like, oh, guys, I'm just like him, and he's hoping that he can win some of those people over onto his side in some sick, weird, desperate attempt. And to only further prove that Greg is trying to desperately do this, in the actual website article to do with the lawsuit, it said in an email, Onision described this Sarah lawsuit as another Amber Heard situation, which is just genuinely absolutely harrowing for a multitude of reasons, because there are actual people out there that are lied about and are, I guess, defamed and discredited in the real world, but people like Greg are just going to damage people like that, and he's also going to damage real victims' cases out there. It's just horrific on all ends, and honestly, I'm just shocked every single day by the fact that this man seemingly just manages to surprise me, because despite everything that I've gone through, when I make another video speaking about the bloke, it still is slightly shocking that this man not only is apparently a real human being, but he's doing all of these things that he seems to do on a daily basis. But yeah, this video is obviously designed to just progressively get worse and worse and just truly reveal the true reasons to why he is leaving the internet, and it's only further backed when he says things such as, people online are so quick to pick somebody apart who they think is above them and do everything they can to destroy that person's life for the lols. The amount of times I've seen lives destroyed by the internet, Jenna Marbles is a good example. You guys made her cry on camera for a misunderstanding. Greg, do not utter those words in your mouth. You don't have the right. You're not allowed to say that name. It's like Voldemort. Just don't say it. Because it does make me quite sick that not only is this man saying the name Jenna Marbles, but he's also now not just using real horrific cases out there, but using just a sweet human being to benefit and bolster his agenda. Jenna Marbles not only is a lovely human being, but Jenna Marbles also made her own independent, conscious decision to leave the internet. She wasn't bullied off the internet, she left the internet by her own reasons. And I swear, every single day when I wake up at 7 AM, I do my sad little scroll through of either TikTok or Twitter, I will always see at least one tweet being like, oh, I really miss Jenna Marbles, I miss her cute little dog videos, you know, stuff like that. People truly do love this woman, but the thing is, Onision, people aren't saying, oh, I love Onision for his banana video from 12 years ago. People aren't saying that. People are saying, oh, Onision, isn't he the guy that, did this and is doing that and being sued for this? Isn't he the guy that, did all of that? The internet doesn't just get together one day and collectively decide, oh, we're going to ruin this guy's life. No, that would be absolutely mental. But what the internet does do collectively is we will see somebody who is doing something absolutely terrible and say, right, we should probably do something about that. And Greg, that's not just an internet thing, that's a society thing. Even in like the 1600s, if there was a little village and somebody did something horrific in that village, they would probably drive that person out of the village. Just like you have been driven out of YouTube, it's honestly not really that much difference. But ladies and gentlemen, it's bad at this point that it gets to a... no, I'm not even going to do the cut. This next bit, it's just vile. Now, pretty much what Greg does is he brings up a certain story about a man who he heard was in a specific camp in the 1940s. And what Greg did was he compared himself to that man because he said the man in the camp kept a positive attitude. And I guess he's saying that he himself has kept a positive attitude. And what he does after this is the true spectacle. He breaks down in tears. He starts crying after comparing himself to somebody that went through the horrific thing that happened in the 1940s, one of the biggest and worst human atrocities ever. Greg compared himself to it because he managed to, continue posting terrible videos on the internet whilst being accused of all the things that he apparently did. I don't really know how these two things correlate, but you know what it does do? It really just once again shows how terrible this guy really is to a shocking extent. And I know a lot of people out there get very upset when you describe somebody as sociopathic, but honestly, I don't think we need to make that description here. I think it does just fit in with everything that we've gone through, but also Onision has literally described himself in the past as a sociopath, so I think not only can we, go with that terminology here, but it also moves us into the next part of this video of where he starts to truly reveal the real reasons to why he left the internet. Was it because he was protecting his family? Was it because he cared about free speech? Was it because of Jenna Marbles being bullied off the internet? Obviously not. I've passed polygraphs. I've had Yankee white security clearances, so the US government trusts me with it was a big deal. And my friends, this is why I mainly bring up the sociopath aspect of this thing, because if you don't know what a polygraph is, pretty much it's just a lie detector test. And the thing is, when it comes to polygraphs or lie detector tests, is a sociopath would be able to pass a lie detector whilst lying with flying colours. A sociopath would go through those tests and it would look like they're telling the truth no matter what. But the reality is they are lying, at least according to my research. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're kind of wondering what these polygraph or lie detector tests were actually about, well, don't worry my friends, I've got it all for you. Pretty much in the past, Onision has tried to clear his name with polygraph tests by saying that, oh, look at this, I didn't commit these horrific allegations. In fact, these polygraph tests really show that I'm actually a completely innocent man. Well, the funny thing is when it comes to Onision's innocence, is he's admitted to a lot of the things that he's been accused of. He's basically admitted to crossing state lines. He's basically admitted to, grooming Kai, as you can see in this tweet right here. But a polygraph test comes back as this man being innocent, apparently. Well, that really only goes with the description that the man gave himself in the past. And I know I've criticized people like Shane Dawson for saying these sort of things about Jake Paul, even though I was in that series, but I'm saying it's different because he's literally called himself it in the past. But despite all of that, I think this is kind of revealing the real nature to why he's leaving. Because yes, nobody would just randomly be like, oh, I love Jenna Marbles and I'm just doing this because I love her, to, oh, there's a lot of allegations out there about me and I did lie detector tests to disprove them within like 10 seconds. Nobody would do that if there weren't reasons. And he goes on to bring up his family, saying, as I mentioned earlier, that he's punishing his family by being on the internet. And he also ranted about how somebody complained about the man ordering a burrito. He says, you can't be a good parent on the internet. And he just makes out that pretty much it's just impossible to be an influencer with children on the internet. And I guess this is kind of Greg once again trying to like cushion the blow of he's bringing up these severe allegations and he's like, oh, but it's not because of that. I'm not gone because of that. I'm gone because, I care about the kid that fell out the window. That's what he's doing. He's smart, you know? He knows that he's got these freaky little fans still, and he's got to do everything that he can to maintain having this audience so they can continue to pay for his lonely mans. He even then goes on to complain that social media has become more cult-like, and it's like, Greg, you literally started your own cult in 2004, and you may still be running it. You've literally written about how a freaky little demon used to haunt you. Like, you yourself, mate, are the originator when it comes to cult-like things on the internet. You did these things before YouTube, and you're complaining about us being cult-like. But then it gets into the leaving aspect of where he signs off in this video. He says, I'm leaving social media. I've said it before, but my reasons have never been so good. I can't do it anymore because it simply does not make any sense. So I'm going to continue trying to function like a normal human being who I was when I was in the military. Oh yeah, to be fair, Greg, you were completely and utterly normal when you were in the military. Definitely the most normal bloke in the world. And then he ends the video saying, this is the longest goodbye video I've ever had to make, so it must be legit. And he ends the video by playing the I'm a Banana music video. And overall, I would say that surprisingly, shockingly enough, yes, this video is a complete manipulative mess. It's not even a good manipulative mastermind, it is just an absolute mess. As I've said throughout this entire thing, there is no coincidence that he dropped this video just shortly before the lawsuits started to come out about him. I think what this is he's finally realized that he cannot continue with the way he does things and operates his life, and it is truly catching up with him. In the video, as I said, he does mention that he is actually getting public altercations with people, of where people will go up to him, either say things, take photos of him, record him, and he complains about that. But I have to say, Gregory, honestly, that's just the consequences of your own actions. If I went down the street and I saw a criminal, I'd probably take a photo of them, to be honest with you. And you may say that's rude and you may say that's wrong, but I don't know. Given everything that you've done, I feel like that's like the least bad thing that you can do. And I'm not recommending you go and do that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm saying, if it did happen to him, I mean, based on everything, that's probably a real easy repercussion to everything that he's done. The actual allegations in the lawsuit is truly so unbelievably sick, and it makes it even worse to know that with these allegations, he's now using his children as a form of get out of jail free card. Will this be Onision's last ever video? I'm honestly not sure, but it's certainly one of his more embarrassing exits, based on the sheer severity of these allegations and just everything in general, and the fact that even Chris Hansen is seemingly back on his case. I really think the repercussions are just catching up with this man, and he has finally realized that he can no longer continue. But ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, I'm not silly. I know this isn't the end of Gregory. I know this isn't the last Onision video I make, because he'll probably just come back when the lawsuits seemingly die away. Like, if he manages to get through them unscathed, he'll probably just come back within a month or so. I think right now, he's just kind of trying to go quiet in order to, I guess, make sure that people either don't speak about these things, cover these things, or just bring attention to these things. And on his website, he also did upload a sad little post, and we're just going to go through it now, where he says things such as, "Hi everyone, I've recently decided to take a vow of silence as far as the internet goes. I no longer want to write poems, I no longer want to write blogs, obviously I already stopped making videos, and I have no longer plans to release future Onision music with lyrics." I mean, if there was one good thing to come out of that, maybe it's this. But yeah, in this post, it's pretty much just the exact same thing that he said in his YouTube video. It's just a complete manipulative mess where he seemingly does just describe the reason for him losing is because the internet are just turning completely against him, with things such as, "I am just one man, and one man has no chance against what the internet has become." Honestly, I don't think the internet has really become much different to what it was 5 years ago. I just think nowadays people are really realizing how much of like an awful person you are. And these statements show that you've got no empathy, you've got no sympathy, and you are not apologetic for what you have done. Just scrolling through this, it's honestly just sad to me. He says things in here like, "The internet made him money, which is now gone. I have no financial skills or preparation to deal with the rapid changes in my life. I'm just a guy." So not only is he like manipulating his audience into thinking there's a genuine reason to why he's going, but he's now guilt tripping them, which he probably wants them to feel sorry for him so he can, I don't know, get more subscriptions on this website whilst he goes on like a 2-month hiatus. But either way, it's a complete mess, and I do not feel sorry for him. To come to some form of conclusion in this video, I think this is once again just another embarrassing moment from this guy. Every single day, the bloke just does something horrific. horrific. And as I said, there is one guarantee in life, and that is Onision on a week-to-week basis will do something absolutely horrific. And that thing today is he is using his children as a way to run away from lawsuits of where he has been accused of things like this. And I can only say to end this video, I truly do hope that the victims do get justice in this situation. I know the American justice system is absolutely horrific, especially in these types of scenarios, but I can only send my best wishes to them and say that I hope they do get justice. But that is the end of the video. Please let me know your thoughts down below, because with this, I don't know, do you think that he's going to be gone forever? I personally don't. I just think it's an excuse, and I think he'll probably be back within a month. But either way, please let me know your thoughts down below. Please like the video, comment down below. Also, again, another thank you to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. They have helped me out so much, and honestly, they could help you out even further if you access the link in the description, which will give you a wonderful deal of getting that spicy block content on streaming services around the world that you can't access for $2.03 a month with 4 months free. But also with all the wonderful things such as 24/7 customer service and 45-day money-back guarantees. You are not, basically, you're living a good life. You're living a bloody safe life and a good cheap life, and I am very grateful to say that yes, this video was indeed sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. Please use the link in the description, help me out, help yourself out, and yeah, thanks for coming along. Thank you very much, CyberGhost VPN. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming along. Please, if you could do me another favor than just listening to ad reads, but also could you please go subscribe to my podcast, The Buddies Podcast, where in our latest episode, we actually spoke about the original lawsuit with Onision, which we did speak about in my first video, but we've now done a podcast speaking about it. I would really appreciate it if you went and, you know, just click subscribe. And if you don't want to watch, I mean, I don't know why you'd subscribe, but if you could just subscribe and like the video and comment beans on there, I would greatly appreciate it. I know most of you probably won't, but if you do, just tweet me your subscription and I'll tweet you a photo of Kenji in some sense of gratitude from myself. But that is the end of the video for the 4th time. Thanks for coming along. I'm sorry if this was a bit of a mumbo jumbo video. I haven't really gone off a script too much here. It's just been a little bit of a ramble, and I don't know. I kind of like doing rambles every now and again. Thanks for coming along though. See you in the next one, where we're going to be speaking about something a bit different to just Onision. I know people do get a bit, you know, sometimes annoyed, like barely anybody, but some do, that I speak about some of the same things quite a lot, but you kind of got to when you're in my case. You've got to follow up on situations. It's just part of the job. But yeah, thanks for coming along. Peace out and have a cracking day. Bye-bye.